Two. And we're started. Welcome to this YouTube live stream Q&A on building business credit. Today in the studio, we got the one and only Victor Peña. Victor Peña is the Chief Executive Officer of OmniPrint International, which is a multi-million-dollar direct-to-garment manufacturer, a printer manufacturer. He's an experienced leader of innovation teams with Product of the Year award for the last 4 years in a row. He's also created products from scratch like the Cheetah DTG printer, the Wurk platform for print automation, the Gamut Plus Enhanced Direct inks, and he's also an angel investor and board of Hundy Inc, which is a new app that's for positive short-term loans for the people. Now, in addition to all these accomplishments, he's also a real estate investor, owning multifamily properties in numerous states. He is honestly and truly a billionaire in the making, and we have him in the building to share how he started all this from the ground up. When I say from the ground up, I mean it. He literally grew up in a Mexican household, working construction and odd jobs to get through college. Tech and education gave him an outlet to provide for his business, for the team that he employs, and for his family. Victor, thank you for coming out and taking a moment out of your busy schedule to sit down with us.
Man, you're welcome. You're welcome. That was a great intro. That was a great intro.
And it highlights a lot, right?
I'm like, who's that guy?
Right?
I want to meet that guy.
Today, you guys are going to meet this guy. And we got a lot of people on a live stream, actually.
I love it.
We got a pretty good amount.
It's a great topic, man. It's a great topic. You know, this is going to be complex, guys, but we're going to do something to make it, exciting for you guys to learn about business credit. Make sure you guys are taking notes. This is going to live forever on YouTube. Mm-hmm. So, I'm just ready to deliver some value for you guys because, honestly, if there's people in my journey that would have helped me out during like, how do I accomplish what I'm doing? If I would have had some more mentors, some people sharing, there wasn't that much back then, right? So that's why I'm here to give you guys some actionable stuff that you can use.
We really appreciate it, man. We have hopefully created designs. The live stream is on. We got Wick Keys from Ireland, and we have a lot of people joining from Trinidad. We have Abdel from. A lot of people looking forward to this. Candace Cruz mentioned this topic is exactly what I've been wanting to get more info on. Thank you so much, and thank you for coming on, man. So we're gonna jump into this.
Yeah,
I think So as we prepared for this live stream, we polled our YouTube community, and 51% of people did not know what business credit was.
Wow.
So over 51% have no idea what this is. And if I'm being honest with myself, I had no idea what business credit was until I got a business credit check, and they said, "Oh, you don't have any business credit." And I was like, "I have business credit cards, but it's not the same thing, all right?"
Yeah.
So for those of you, for those of us, and a lot of people that experience this, what is the difference between personal credit and business credit?
Yeah, that's a great question. So think about it like this: when you think about your personal credit, it's always about that FICO score, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what is it? There's a lot of debate whether the FICO score is even like something that's valuable to know, but it's judging character, right? Mm-hmm. It's judging character, and it's also judging how your credit's established. It's also judging, how you do when you pay your bills, mm-hmm. right? Mm-hmm. So, and that's personal.
Right.
So that's why you have that score. And in business, it's a similar thing for a business entity, right? So that means that you have your social security number, right? Mm-hmm. And when you have your business, you have your EIN number. Mm-hmm. So that's like the business's social security number.
Right.
So the business social security number is how they start monitoring how the business pays back, right? Mm-hmm. And what kind of lines you have. So and the score is not a FICO score. It's called a Paydex score, right? It goes. If you're for example on an 80 Paydex, mm-hmm. it means that you pay well, right? It's similar to saying, hey, I have a 720 plus FICO score, I'm lendable.
So it's almost like a 0 to 100 type of classification?
Yep.
Okay.
Anything over 80, you're good, right? So those are the major differences when it comes to business and personal. Mm-hmm. Because think about it this way, guys. Your business EIN is like saying, hey, my company is its own person. Mm-hmm. My company's its own person because it has to be at some point detached from you, right? So the main goal is for your entity at some point to be detached from your personal name, for your personal guarantee, so that it could live on its own, right? Like the Apples, they live on their own, right? With nobody signing for their credit cards.
That makes sense. And for those of you guys watching, if you're wondering, like, what is he talking about? The EIN, the entity, the paydex score. EIN is when you register your business. We have content around registering your business, establishing it as an LLC or as a sole proprietor. And the EIN number is something that you get from the IRS. So when you register your business and you say, I registered in this state, they gave you that EIN number, which allows you to register that number with your banks, as well as the sales tax ID and any other manufacturer or supplier that may ask for it. So that was a great way of like kind of breaking up the two, right?
Yep.
So at the start of every brand and business's journey, it all really is dependent on the personal credit score, would you say?
Yeah, it is. So, but this is the thing, and I want you guys to take this as a huge takeaway, right? Because we have a lot of successful people making money, printing shirts, doing whatever that they're doing to grow, right? But you guys sometimes lag in properly setting up your business, right? So don't do that. John has a lot of courses that you guys can check out that help you how to set it up. Why am I saying that? Because it's foundational. It's foundational. Think about it like a birth date. It's a birth date of your business to have your EIN number, whatever you're gonna do, an LLC or sole prop, whatever you're gonna do. If you don't have that birth date, that means that you're just that much farther away from building credit and being legit,
right?
And filing taxes, right? So nothing that we can talk about today you're not able to do it if you don't set up the business properly, right? And it doesn't take a lot of money. You could do it yourself or pay to have it done, right? It's super cheap. So I wanted to make sure people understood that having the EIN is the basis for everything, right?
Most definitely.
Especially for credit.
Most definitely is. And right now, if you guys are watching this, leave a comment down below with any business credit related questions, things that may be coming through your mind. We'll be answering them in this live chat, guys. This is a live Q&A, so we will be taking your questions. And we're going through some of them right now, which goes into my next question, actually. So Candace says, her personal credit is good, but there's not much wiggle room, and my company has not started to generate sizable revenue. So where and when should a startup look to getting credit?
Right away. So the simplest answer is as soon as you could do it, start. So what are the main pillars of getting business credit, right? The system is actually a little bit old school still, right? So you have to do things in the proper order. So after you have your EIN, right, everything that you do needs to be tied to, number one, a legitimate physical address, right? Because think about it, you have systems and algorithms hitting those addresses, validating them, right? So if you don't have a physical business address yet, you can get one, right? Don't do like a fake mailbox. Get like a physical commercial address that is not like a /suite PO whatever, right? Don't get a PO box. Get a physical address, right? So number one. Number two, you have to get a phone number that checks out, right? So there's a lot of online resources to get like a voice over IP number and all that stuff that forwards to your cell and all that. Google phone. Don't do any of those
don't do Google phone.
Unless it's a physical phone, DID or direct number that those algorithms are going to be able to hit, right? It's got to be an old school bell.
Wow,
right?
Wow, like literally plug in a landline to your.
if you can, or there's some like. For example, I think Grasshopper has a physical one that checks out that also has the virtual, the virtual tools.
Right.
So check that out. So, what does that do? Right. I said the foundational pillars. Right. It's gonna whenever you do an application online, check it out. If you don't have a business address that works or a phone number, bam, decline. So none of us like to get declined.
Right.
You know,
Wow.
none of us like to have that no.
Yeah,
You know?
no.
And take it from me, you know, my wife didn't want to give me her phone number like when I met her, right? A million times. So nobody likes that.
Nobody likes the no.
Yeah.
Wow.
Right.
So
it's really foundational, right? So start there. You know. Also, she's saying she's got good personal credit, so that's pretty good. That's pretty good. So you can already start once you have those pieces and you know, done, right? Then secondly, you could start getting what's called like net 30 terms, right? Net 30 terms means that there's some suppliers out there that do business credit for supplies you already get, right? What's the main value is that they start reporting to that EIN, to that Paydex, right? So those are the things that you want to start doing. So you could do it right away.
All right. So those three things right there. Get a legit address, which means no PO box.
Yep.
All right. The second thing is to make sure you get a legit phone number, no Google Voice unless it's professionally, like it's one of the accounts that's supposed to be registered for business, right?
Yep.
Okay. And then the third aspect of it is getting net terms from suppliers that you may be doing business with.
Yeah.
And that means anybody that you're already buying business off of, right?
Yeah, exactly. And what that does is they start creating a Dun and Bradstreet number for you, right? If you don't want to go pay for it, right?
Interesting.
I always say go pay for it. Go sign up. Sign up. You know, let's say it's $99 or what. I don't know what they're charging now, but you get that Dun's number. And what happens is that's where they start tracking all your credit, right? So if you're going to see applications that says, hey, what's your DUNS number? It's additional to your EIN that they use to track your credit for the company, right? Without your social security.
Right.
And so most of these, I'm telling you guys, it did not include you putting your social anywhere.
Right, yeah. Yeah, it's all separate from the business.
Yeah.
All completely separate. So now somebody's asking, Hopefully Creative Designs is going to, she's asking, how does a VA work versus an RA for the address? Or virtual address versus a RA for the address? I guess that one's a
retail address. Yeah, so just like I said, the system's kind of old school, right? They use like, you know, they hit databases of addresses that are physical and they exist.
Interesting. So it knows. It's like this is a physical address and this is legit. What's an example of a physical address that somebody could purchase online? I know that there's like a lot of services that sell you on a suite number with a box number and stuff like that. What are the ones that people should be looking towards?
For example, the best way is if you have an office like you, right? You have an office. John went from virtual to real legit office with a suite number. If the system checks this, bam, this is where you're at, right? There's a lot of online services, honestly, and you just got to be careful because they all pitch that it's a physical address, right? But you know, a good rule of thumb is if you can't Google it yourself and then you see it, right? Then it's gonna, you know, you better check somewhere else, right? So, and they don't do PO boxes, right? So those physical addresses in some of the actual package delivery areas in your area, like a mom and pop store with a box, those are physical, right? So you could call them, hey, you know what, is this store, you know, a physical address where I'm going to have like a suite number, but it's your box. It works.
Right. You know? Wow, that's key. That's huge right there because there is a lot of services online that says like establish your LLC, get your virtual address, right? And then it's like,
they're like in the you know, in the Cayman Islands. And stuff,
right?
Exactly.
And that's a red flag, right? You might even get audited.
Yeah, there you go. Step one, don't get audited, right?
Don't get audited. So there's a couple of good questions here. We have self-made enterprises. I'm looking at getting one of your new DTG conveyor dryer belts. Are you guys going to start to do loans? I'm sure we're going to be covering a couple of these options for you guys in a little bit. What's the best method for finding net 30 wholesalers in the garment industry? This is from Abdel Assis.
That's a good point. So You guys, you got to think about it this way. You have to hit the low-hanging fruit first, right? So make sure, for example, all you guys buy boxes, right? So hit up Uline and say, hey, I need some net 30 terms. I'm going to blow up. I'm going to do amazing, blah, 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 right? By that time, you have your company set up properly. That looks professional. Uline looks at it, and they're like, all right, yeah, we'll give you a little bit of terms. And one thing that's super important, pay your bills before they're due. It's like super old school, right? Everybody's grandma said that. But in business, it's important because they're going to report how lendable you are by how good you pay.
Interesting.
So you guys are already paying with the credit card anyways, right? So just like do it on the terms. Don't go YOLO with the money and then, not have it to pay. Right? With some of that expensive avocado toast.
Yeah.
Pay your
pay your bills.
Pay your bills first. Seriously. And then so that starts a trade line, right? It's called a trade line. You want to have as many as possible as a business, right? You guys buy supplies, right, for your bathrooms and this and that. Go to Quill, right? You could set up net 30 terms there.
Interesting.
And even though it might be a small amount, it's fine.
Like $50 or something.
Yeah, 50, 100, 1,000, whatever. Like how much toilet paper do you need to buy, right?
Last year a lot.
Stock up, baby. Right. So start there, right? Because what happens when you hit, Alpha Broder and these other guys, they're gonna be like, they also have their systems, right? And they're gonna hit that Paydex and the Dun and Bradstreet, and if they see you have other trade lines already that you pay, now you could talk to the agent. You gotta be like, hey, you know what? I'm gonna be huge. I pay my bills on time. Just start giving me some credit. Maybe they'll do net 15. Maybe they'll do net 30. But you got to start somewhere.
Right.
But this is the thing too. Is like, you guys don't want to fall into a trap of having business credit, just so you can have access to stuff that you don't pay up front. But your goal has to be able to pay it.
Right. You don't just get it to have it.
No.
You got to pay it up. Like if it's a real cash transaction.
It's a cash transaction. Think about it this way. You're only doing it backwards so that you're able to extend it's all about cash flow, right? So how you can take that dollar that you make and put it through your business the most efficient way possible. Right? That's why you do it. So you got to establish those legit goals of why you want to have credit, to grow, and actually use it for that.
Right, for growth and not just to have.
Yep.
Right. Okay. So then I think once again, guys, appreciate you all for tuning in. We're going to be taking your questions on this live stream and also in the comments down below if you're watching this on the replay. So then there's somebody that Red Alpha Custom Prints. We have already purchased equipment and established small lines of credit with a lender, but it's on our personal credit. Can we transfer that to our business credit at some point?
It's a great question. So once it's on your personal credit, it's already registered there, right? It's complicated to go back and do it on your business credit, right? So a lot of the times lenders are looking at you to be 2 years plus in business to be able to do it under your business credit, right? Otherwise, they do it as a startup. So I'm assuming that if they did it under their personal credit, they didn't have the business set up yet. Right? The EIN properly set up, business bank accounts. That's one of the things that I didn't touch on. As soon as you register your business, you need the business bank account, right? That's part of it. So if you do it personal, it just makes it that much longer.
That makes sense.
So before you're gonna go apply for stuff, guys, get that EIN. Go to the IRS website. You can do it yourself for free, or you can go to LegalZoom. I think it's like what, $99?
$99 or something. Yeah.
It's pretty cheap. It's pretty cheap to do, but you establish that birth date. Then you take those papers. Hey, here's my articles of incorporation. It's like saying it's your birth certificate, right? take it to the bank, say, hey, I need a business bank account. You know, is my business name, LLC.
Yep.
And that's what a lender is going to look at. Even if they do give you a startup rate, at least you did that deal under your business credit. Now you have some payments there and some payment history.
Now you got something there.
Yep.
Which brings me into this question that's pretty interesting. I mean, I think you kind of touched base on it a little bit earlier. Is how can business credit be leveraged? Like, how can a growing company leverage business credit?
Yeah. Think about it like this. For our industry, right, the number one leverage you can have, especially right now, is product available in your shop to ship right now, right? That means blanks. That means your inks, your supplies, you know, business credit cards, right, that you can buy these things with. Have them there. You haven't paid them yet, but you can take the money from your sales, flow it faster. You don't have to wait to get for the stuff to come in, right? Yep. And then you leverage it like that. So think about it. Credit's kind of it's a multiplier of what you're already doing, and it saves you a lot of time. But here's a caveat, and you guys are gonna hear me try to pound this into you guys, right? Because paying things back and managing that stuff is super important. So when the stuff is due, boom, it has to go on your calendar, right? If you have somebody helping you with the books, you got to tell them, hey, priority is for us to have a lendable profile, right? That means that when somebody looks at my business, they're going to be like, oh, man, you know what? John pays his bills. Of course, we're going to, you know, this is a low-risk individual.
That makes sense.
And you might get a bigger trade line. Right. So let's say you have, you know, put it in context of our customer base. Right. Somebody says, hey, you know what? I have a big brand. It's going to be a lot of volume for your print shop, but you need to buy all these blanks for that month. Right. Because they also might be on net 15 or net 30. Right. A lot of small businesses can't do it. You know, and I come from that, right? I gotta get paid first so I can have the money to go buy the inventory to print your stuff. So that's what leverage is. So you're able to find bigger deals when you have that credit available.
That business credit to leverage.
Yep.
Wow. Guys, this information right here that Victor's sharing is invaluable. You guys will, as you're starting and you're growing your brand and business, you'll come to the point where you're like, if I only had a little bit more credit line to get to this next level, but right now I got to float my cash flow, right? My personal cash that I have in the bank to continue growing it. Sometimes if used right, business credit and credit cards can help you grow it. But like Victor just mentioned here, and I don't know if you guys caught it, it's very important to always pay them off and keep your balances at a rate that you can manage instead of always maxing them out and barely making it, right?
Yep.
So when it came to the company of OmniPrint, to your business journey, how important was business credit, and how did you guys, how were you able to leverage it to continue growing your empire?
That's a great point. Let me just tell you a little bit about my history, right? So. And why you should even be listening, really, because the reality is none of this stuff is not stuff that I've already gone through personally myself, right? So I want to share it with everybody because these little tweaks will help you grow. You know, our mission is to empower business owners globally to thrive with print on demand, right? And growing their businesses is just aligns with that mission, right? So that's why I'm here. I started by having zero money. Right, zero credit. You know, came into the States. I was 6, 7 years old, no English. Right, my parents hustled to you know come here, build a better life. Right, and let's just say that the credit education was non-existent. Right, because they didn't know how they're going to teach me. You don't learn it in school. You don't learn anything about credit. You know, so it was a rough start. I had to learn everything on my own. The reality is, at the beginning, there was zero credit. I did everything off hustle. So sell first. You know, I remember the first machine I sold wasn't even there. I had to go collect money, and a lot of people do it. Collect money, buy the parts, build it,
Right.
and then deliver it, and then repeat.
Right.
And then hopefully this customer tells the next one, hey, you know, this guy, yeah, you got to pay up front, but he delivers the equipment. Right. So that was the start of my journey. You know, I didn't set up the company properly. I was just, you know, making money at the beginning, seeing if it was even going to happen. Right. People use, you know, stuff as side hustles all the time. And that's why I say, hey, if you're committed that you want to do it, might as well set it up at the beginning, you know, because it will shave a few years, right? So I didn't set it up on time. You know, I paid everything cash. You know, I didn't file the taxes in time, right? I didn't do the books, you know. So as soon as I could, I changed all that, right? Hey, I spent a lot of time learning, calling the people. It wasn't that great access to YouTube stuff like this, right? This is gold. You can, I want to give you guys stuff that you can take, write down, and be like, hey, I want to do this. I'm gonna go to LegalZoom. I'm gonna pay $99. I'm gonna get it all done. Then I'm gonna go to the bank. I'm gonna do that. You know, this is actionable stuff. You know, I paid to learn.
Exactly.
You know, and I paid to fail, and I kept going. Right.
Most
so
definitely.
so those are the things. So the journey was bumpy, and that's why I got to learn all it, because I committed to learning how to do it. So then once I got the top CPA in my area, you know, once I got the bookkeeping, once I got everything set up, now it's time to be like, all right, well, I need to set up credit. Then I researched all these things, right? I called the companies. All the stuff I'm telling you guys, I had to find out by setting it up, trial and error. Oh, you know what? This phone number didn't register.
Right. Got to get another one. Got to get another number.
You know. So a lot of the things. So that's why, you know, I could sit here and be like, all right, guys, this is what you got to do, because I've done it. This is not like a
in theory.
Yeah, in theory. You know, Instagram entrepreneurship.
You know, real shit. This is real. No, this is awesome. This is why we love to have people like you in the studio. One of the major things, I think you mentioned it right now, was about doing it yourself. Obviously, you had to go out there and figure out that like these steps that we just shared, you had to go out there and learn them. Is there any resources or like reputable companies that perhaps can streamline this for people that you may know about?
Yeah, definitely. So if it comes to like a business credit, Fund and Grow is a good one. So it's this, you know, you're gonna pay, right? Just like everything, but how much is your time worth and being able to set up your business credit that you can leverage now.
Right.
So you could do that. You know, we'll share some links with you guys on that stuff, so you know who it is, because there's a lot of shady stuff when it comes to business credit, guys. So just be careful.
I see a lot of it online, which is why I don't know.
So much. It's so much. And after you see this video, you're probably gonna get hit up with the ads like crazy.
You're welcome. You're gonna have a bunch of advertisements with people telling you they'll build your credit profile in 2 days.
Just get educated. There's a lot of legit videos now, right? You know, go to resources that people can use that are legit. That you can't replace that. So that's a great resource. You can also go to Dun & Bradstreet Direct, right? Set up your accounts there. You could do that. You could, you know, if you don't have the EIN, you could do it free at the IRS website, right? So
IRS.gov.
You could do it. So there's a lot of scammy sites that you go and you pay, and you don't get your stuff. So if you question it, if we didn't post it here, it means that, you know, we haven't used it.
Exactly. So we're going to be linking some resources and some materials in the description of this. We'll also have a page that you guys could subscribe to, and we'll be sending more information such as this, as well as follow-up details that you guys may be wondering about building business credit, getting lines of credit directly with OmniPrint or any of the suppliers that they also work with. So let's take it to the comments right now. We got we got somebody that's got Duns, he's got EIN, Abdel, Aziz, amazing work, man. You're already starting this. How do you? I have credit set up with Credit Company. How do you find your DUNS number? This is Miguel Delgado is asking. I guess he already has some credit, so he's wondering how does he get his DUNS number?
Go directly to the Dun & Bradstreet website, and there's a entity search. Where you can search for your business, and then it should pop up there.
And then if it doesn't pop up, that means nobody's actually registered it, but you got credit, right? Like business credit card. I think he's assuming he's got a business credit card, but what I learned is that the banks don't report it till like 3 years, right? Like 3 years after or something.
Some might not report it. You know, some do, some don't. Yeah. That's the other thing is that you guys got to look at, and that just it is what it is. So you got to look at, hey, if I'm building it, right, you want to deal with companies that report. So just look it up, see if they report. You can Google it. You can even ask them, hey, do you guys report to Dun & Bradstreet, like right away? Or Experian Business, you know? Then they'll tell you, right? Because if the goal is to have lines pop up as soon as possible, then just do a little bit of extra homework on that.
That's awesome. Amazing questions coming in, guys. Once again, leave them in the comments down below. One question I have for Victor is, how, in terms of building credit opportunities with OmniPrint, you guys also report to Dun & Bradstreet. Do you guys have net 30 or net 15 terms with your supplies? How is it that you guys are helping entrepreneurs?
Yeah, so everything, you know, somebody was asking about the ovens because we did a lot of content recently that we're shooting out for people to be able to print and cure faster, right? Well, the ovens are like 15, 20, you know, the 30K, right? So everything that we put out there, I'm letting the team know that, hey, we need to make sure that people can finance it. So we have resources where, you know, with the best like finance companies that help you build the business credit like that, right? So you can pay, you know, per month. You can choose your terms, 3, 4, 5 year terms. And these are the best to do for a business when it's established because number one, you don't cough up that money right ahead of time. You might do, I don't know, first and last month payment or whatever. But you start building that credit. And then number two, you're able to deduct this equipment, you know, in your tax returns as a capital expense. What is that? Like I invested this money into the business. Therefore, you get that deduction back from the IRS. And when it comes to equipment, there's bonus depreciation. It means that you can write off more of it that first year.
Right.
So let's say you made 20 grand in income and you spent 20 grand on a machine, then you know your taxable income goes to zero.
Right. Well, you could write it all off in the first year, or spread it across.
Exactly. So that's what you do with commercial equipment. The big guys don't cough up money. Like, for example, our Cheetah printer is $250,000, right? They put it on credit, they write it off, you know, and we're taught, hey, you got to pay everything cash, otherwise, you know, you're no good, right?
Right.
That's how it was in the upbringing. But in the finance world, as a company, you're expected to have open trade lines that you pay. You write off stuff all the time. And that's just normal, right? And you know, it's all 100% legal. You're not doing anything shady. It's like, if you guys want to get big, there's different phases, right? You have to start being open to credit and being open to, you know, not paying everything cash, even though like we're programmed to that.
Right.
You know?
Cash is king.
Yeah,
right?
and all that. You know, if it's not generating cash flow returns, then you shouldn't be doing it.
That's a pretty good point. Can you repeat that?
Yeah. If you're not generating cash flow, right, those returns, that means money coming back from your investment of equipment, then you shouldn't do it.
So don't spend on something that doesn't make you money.
Yep.
Essentially.
Yeah, this is not so you can buy the Lambo, guys.
Yeah, don't buy the Lambo.
Don't
or rent
buy the Lambo.
Or rent it.
Or don't rent the Lambo. All right.
You can't even write a Lambo off.
No,
like
you
that.
can't. my Range Rover.
Yeah,
You can write it off.
You gotta get smart with
that
your
is a
investment, right?
commercial equipment.
Right. Hey, that's what we help here. That's
right.
That's the tips that we give.
Yeah, exactly. You'll get to that kind of stuff, right? Once
definitely.
you get the knowledge, so you can know which cars to buy, which cars not to buy, which cars can your business own, and that kind of stuff. But that comes after, because guess what? You still gotta get approved for that, right?
Definitely.
The business, So those are some key things that are super important for people to really get your hands around it.
Awesome. That's amazing insight, guys. So we're gonna come to the last question here. There's gonna be a couple. We're gonna wrap this live stream up. So if you guys have a question, make sure you leave it in your comments. So there's a couple here, and let's see who we choose. How do I scale my human resources to be able to design and produce as well as run the business? Is there a point when it gets easier? This is a good question to building a team, right? So I just started this process, right? So, I mean, you've been telling me for a while. I've always appreciated your insight and your mentorship. And you've always said, building the team, how can you multiply your efforts? How are you going to get better results? And it's not easy right now. But does it get easier as you grow?
You get to different. You should always be looking for new problems, right? That keep you excited, right? So the simple answer is, you should be looking for it to get more difficult, right? That means you're growing, right? You're growing. You can't put stuff on autopilot if you want it to grow, right? Yep. And building a team is one of them. So we're putting a lot of effort right now to build a committed team, right? That is pushing in the same direction of that mission, right? We have a huge mission, right? And they all have to go through like all the leadership things that we go through so that they can help our customers, right?
Really cool.
But you have to start duplicating yourself, right? Finding first 1, 2, 3 people to do those jobs that you're doing, but you're documenting and you're training, right? We did that in our business. We're constantly doing that, but we did that too late. So if I wasn't focused on documenting what I'm doing, I'm just like hammering, getting the job done, right? And a lot of us think like, hey, you know what? This is just too much time. I don't have time to document.
Right.
But what happens is you bring people on, you expect them to be superstars, but you haven't trained them. And then you have no process, and then you have no way of checks and balances. What are their 3 top priorities that they need to do to help the business grow, right? So you got to start looking for problems, bigger problems, and then always document so that the next person could be successful.
Most definitely. And I think that also leads into the fact that you can't hold them accountable either, because there was nothing to be held accountable, right? There wasn't a clear description of what they should be doing. And I always repeat this time and time again. You had a live stream with Brandon Dawson, I think it was one, and he's this tip right here really changed the game for me, because once I heard that live stream, and I did this, it became very clear what I needed to remove myself from. And essentially, he shared this like 3 columns, right? And just about your entire week, just create 3 columns on a folded piece of paper. It doesn't have to be anything techy, just like literally 3 columns on a piece of paper. And then on the left column, write things that I'm doing that I should not be doing with my time, right? This means like responding to little things that takes 10 minutes to do, but it doesn't drive the business forward, or, cleaning the table, right? Like it only took you 5-10 minutes, but it distracted you from the rest of your duties throughout that day. The second tab is essentially things that you could play a role in, but you don't have to do yourself. And that means that you can oversee some of the tasks in there. That means that you could essentially help, move that. It could be creative driven, design wise, right? You can still have your input in that design, but you don't necessarily have to be doing it all yourself. And then the third task is essentially things that you should be focused on in order to grow your business. So these in that tab is essentially everything that you guys should be doing yourself, because that's what's bringing in and closing new deals and allowing you to grow your brand and business. So those are the 3 things that you should be documenting on a weekly basis in order for you guys to be able to grow your brand and business. And like Victor says, the new problems that you find, you'll be able to continue to grow that business. You put new teams behind it, and you're going to find new problems as you grow your team as well. But
you know, and for example, Brandon is a great resource, right? So you guys have to invest in yourself and your learning every single year, depending on which, like what levels of revenue you're at right now, right? So for example, this year we'll probably spend over $600,000 in our business team, in our learning, coaching for me, right? All that kind of stuff, because I can reach to new problems. I can do more things and leverage my time, right? If you're getting close to doing $1 million, you got to start finding mentors. You got to start finding like these kind of companies. Like, you know, I use Cardone Ventures, Brandon, you know, so that they could help you push through the growth, because there's your business has different stages of growth at different revenue levels, right? 1, 5, 7, 10, 15 million, 20 million. There's different and new problems. It's better if you know ahead of time what they are, and it's better that you're building your teams, your systems, your processes, your products to be able to push through. Right.
That's amazing, man. I always enjoy our conversations, and I want to make sure I'm cognizant of your time that you have today. So if you guys enjoyed this live stream, Victor, where can they find you? Where can they go for more information about what it is that you do?
Yeah, make sure you guys are following at OmniPrint International. Check out our YouTube channel there too. We're doing a lot of stuff that's not just printer related. Why? Because it's about empowering business owners to grow, right? So hit our YouTube channel as well. Also, you guys can follow me on Instagram, Victor_H_Peña. I do a lot of content there too to help you guys. And this is stuff, like I said, that I do. I practice, and I'm pushing. You know, I'm pushing and shoving just like everyone else here to build that indestructible wealth, and for my team, help them grow and help all our thousands of customers out there become millionaires with print on demand. So that's the goal. Man,
we always appreciate you for bringing on and for being on this channel. Victor's going to be part of the first podcast episode that we're launching in September, late August, September. So we're going to record that. Make sure you guys stay tuned. Make sure you stay subscribed to this channel, and check out the links in the description down below that we'll leave. If you're a new visitor to this channel, hit that subscribe button, turn on those post notifications, and we'll see you guys on the next live stream that happens in August. See you then.
See you guys.
Oh, that was really good, man. That was awesome, bro.
Good stuff, huh?
Clean. It was super informative. Let's see if I listen to this legit stuff. Was it the UPS guy?
Yes.
Okay.
The FedEx guy.
The FedEx guy. I need to put a letter.
Yeah,
up
we
there.
should do a sign. Hey, recording in process,
Yeah.
in progress.
Do not knock.
Don't knock.
Yeah.
They have those on Amazon for like $5.